Welcome to the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. I am Peju Bamgboshe and
hi, and I'm Naomi Bamgboshe. Hi, guys.
And this is the third episode of season 2
of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour.
Oh, wow. Okay. So how are you, Ma?
The same way I always am. Wonderful, happy, blessed.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, that's good.
How are you, daughter?
I'm good. I'm working, and enjoying football and staying safe.
Great. Oh, all right. Are your Dallas Cowboys making it to the playoffs?
Well,
I should
Cowboys.
say your Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Are they making it to the playoffs?
I'm being
so happy for Mike Tomlin. Oh, yeah. So happy for the Steelers. Okay.
Okay, Ma. Yes, the Cowboys aren't my favorite, but I'm being supportive. I'm being supportive wife this year because they're doing pretty well, and they have a big playoff game this Sunday. So positive vibes for the Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck, Dad. Good luck to you. Good luck.
All right, so I think we need to start sipping on something today.
All right, what are we sipping on today, daughter?
We're going to take it a little easy for this episode. We're going to have some nice wine. So we have a nice Cabernet Sauvignon from Guilty Grape, and it is two Black female, well, it's a set of twins, Black female twins, and they're the co-founders. Yes.
Great.
Michelle and Nicole Nichols. And so
great.
And so we actually purchased the trio, the gold collection. It's Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, and peach mango bubbly. But I'm gonna try a cab today. So, do you want to?
No, that peach mango bubbly sounds good. Maybe we'll have it next time.
Maybe we'll open up later.
Cab today.
Yes.
Cabernet Sauvignon. Let's see how it is. Oh.
So, do you want to do a little toast to Sidney Poitier, and also
R.I.P. Sidney Poitier
and Bob Saget.
Rest in peace, Bob Saget. Rest in peace, Sidney Poitier. R.I.P. Rest in peace and love. R.I.P.L.
Okay, I'm going to take a little sip.
Oh, great. Great body, great flavor.
It really is good. Mine's, it's funny today. All right, so let's get into pop culture, Ma's favorite. So since we're talking about football, Brian Flores is an African-American Black coach of the Miami Dolphins, where he was a former coach, and he was let go earlier this week after 3 years. And his first season was not the best season. He was 5-11, but the last 2 seasons, he were winning seasons. He went 10-6 and 9-8 this season. And this season in particular, he won 8 out of his last 9 games. So when this season started, there were 3 Black head coaches in the NFL. Currently now there are 2. And there's also reportedly rumors that another coach is going to be let go, another Black coach. So, Mom, what are your thoughts on the state of the NFL and Black coaches?
We know that there's a paucity of coaches in the NFL and on the collegiate level of African-American coaches. We already know that. Now, what's going on and how they're able to justify this sort of mass firing of African-American coaches, I don't know. But it seems, and I think that we can even quantify what we're saying. It seems that there is just a very a trend and a tendency to very easily fire African-American coaches. African-American coaches with records much better than their white counterparts are fired.
Yeah, and like Jim Caldwell.
Yes. And they're fired very easily based on the information that I have. Now, if there's some other reason beyond the obvious reasons of systemic racism, I don't know what those reasons are.
Well, just so people who may not be as familiar with the NFL is made up of about 70% of the players are African American. There are 32 teams in the NFL, and only three, like I said before, three had Black coaches, and currently two now have African American coaches. So, we don't know what's going to happen in the off season, because there's been several positions that are available now, because, they let people go. Let's see what happens. But
African American coaches are historically underrepresented when it comes to hiring, and overrepresented when it comes to firing.
Yes. And there's a rule, there's the Rooney Rule, in which there has to be at least 2 external minority candidates for general manager / executive of football operations.
I'm not really sure that has been adhered to. I'm not really sure about that Rooney Rule, and I've heard that it's controversial. And for what reason? To me, should be controversial because the numbers are small.
Right.
Because the numbers are too small, especially in view of the fact that the league is overwhelmingly African American.
And it seemed to only work for Mike Tomlin. It seemed like it was only the people who started it.
And Mike Tomlin, in my opinion, is held to a higher standard. He's criticized immediately for any little thing, and they're just so ready to jump all over him, for any little thing. And as far as I'm concerned, he's a hellified good coach.
He is. And I just, I don't really have an answer for this, except that we need to, just keep blasting everybody's ear with it, so people know that this is going on.
That we have to keep fighting for our voting rights. Same reason.
Well, I don't have a solution, except that we need to keep it, keep the discussion alive.
We have to keep our eye on the ball, and we have to keep working for greater representation in a greater representation in terms of coaches and management. And we won't even go into ownership. That's a conversation for another day, because that's a lengthy conversation.
That is.
But it's one that we need to have.
Okay. So the next person, we're not even really unless you have anything to say about him, but I just given an update on Antonio Brown. It's Antonio Brown has a new rap song out. He debuted it at some strip club. He was hanging out with Kanye West, and of course he threw shots at Tom Brady.
Speaking of Kanye West, no good deed, goes unpunished. So that's what I'll say about that. But wait a minute now, Kanye West is going over to Russia to perform. You know that, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yes. He's been in talks with Putin. Oh, yes.
Well, that sounds about right.
He's going to perform there. We won't talk about his politics, but yeah. I just saw it trending. Okay, go ahead, sweetie.
We'll get into that another time. Okay, so
never is.
Okay. So Aaron Rodgers. So that Aaron Rodgers is probably going to win the MVP, or he is definitely a candidate to win MVP again this year. So there is a voter.
Why do we care, Peju?
A Chicago-based football reporter named Hub Arkush, who is, he's among a select group of people who get to vote on the MVP awards. He, was not feeling Aaron Rodgers pretty much. He says, I don't think you can be the biggest jerk in the league and punish your team.
I remember him. We talked about that last week. Now, you want to update this?
We talked about this on the show, because we didn't talk about it on the show.
Well, what did we talk about it on?
I think that we talked about it personally. I'm pretty sure that it wasn't on the
Oh, well, oops. Go ahead.
Anyway,
he was very vocal about his feelings.
Can you please? Anyway, Arkush said, I just think that he's the way he's carried himself is inappropriate. I think he's a bad guy, and I don't think a bad guy can be the most valuable guy at the same time. So that's what he said. And he pretty much said that he wasn't going to vote for Aaron Rodgers, and then he came back out and had to apologize. So my thing is, do you think that Aaron Rodgers' vaccine lies or anti-vaccine lies have marred his season or his image with the public?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So other update is it appears that Novak Djokovic is going to be allowed to stay in Australia after it was ruled he should be released from detention and the government's cancellation of his visa was overruled. However, Australia's immigration minister is still considering whether to order Djokovic's removal from the country. So any thoughts on that, Ma?
Nope. Do not care. No thoughts on that.
Okay. And the fartpreneur from 90 Day Fiance, Stephanie Matto, was selling her emissions in jars, which people call passing gas farts, and making $50K a week. And after she hit $200,000 in sales, she stopped after she ended up in the hospital. And she thought that she was having a heart attack after she was eating beans and eggs and protein shakes. So my question to you, is this a genius business move or is this foolishness?
It's foolishness. It's not sustainable. It's fine if she needed a quick infusion of cash, short term.
Okay. What I think is, I don't think that she should have actually been eating those foods. I think that if she was going to coin this, selling farts in a jar, that maybe it could have actually been something that smelled good instead of her actually pretending to, putting herself through the torture.
Well, maybe she was concerned about being authentic.
How about her health?
Secondary. And that's one reason it's not sustainable.
Okay.
Short-term infusion of cash, not sustainable. Okay. It can't be a long-term business. If she was broke and needed a quick infusion of cash. It seemed that's how it was successful, but she can't continue to do it, period. No matter what I think of it, that's the reality of it.
Okay.
And I don't mean to be rude, but I'm just really tired of talking about Novik and, all these filthy rich millionaires who are anti everything and very selfish and this and that. I don't want to give them a lot of energy. I really, that's enough of them. Aaron Rodgers, who was just a selfish pig. I don't care if he wins MVP or not. And I'm sorry that the guy even apologized to him. Aaron Rodgers needs to be apologizing. Antonio Brown, I'm tired of him behaving foolishly and just doing everything except what the hell he's supposed to be doing, which is playing football. So, no. And then, and all that wild, uncouth behavior to what end? To what end? I guess he's trying to be Kanye. I guess he's trying to get a rap career. Who knows? But I mean, it's not, to me, it's not, it's all, to me, it's all negative behavior. All of them, everything that you discuss is all negative behavior, unproductive, unhealthy, not benefiting any community except for personal self-enrichment and for personal attention. I don't see anything else.
Okay. Well, I understand how you feel.
Yeah.
All right. So the last topic.
Oh, I was allowed to answer. Oh, you wasn't yelling, Ma, stop. Oh, good. I'm glad I could answer. Good. Thank you.
So the last topic.
You're behaving more like a Trumpster every day. Good. No freedom of speech.
If Donald Trump
didn't like what a person said, he just cuts them off and shuts them up.
Well, you know that I'm not a Trumpster, Mom.
No, I know you're not a Trumpster, but you were having some Trumpish behavior.
Okay. All right. So What do you think the average man rates himself? This is based on a survey from the US and the UK.
Rates himself doing what?
His personal appearance.
Oh, you mean how does the average man rate his personal appearance?
Yes. From a 1 to a 10.
9.
5.9 out of 10.
Those are American men.
These are American and from the UK.
Oh no, they're white. No. That's all only white men. I know ain't no black man rate themselves that low. Nope.
I'm sure that they included black people in the survey.
Nope.
Okay.
Unless that cuts across racial lines, that's no. Nope. Because the average.
Why do you say that?
The average black man, I feel, has a very overrated opinion of himself.
Okay, well, these people here, they said their ideal body type would be Captain America, Batman, and then Thor.
And then Thor.
Ooh,
Chris Hemsworth.
Well, okay. Yes, I love Chris Hemsworth, but that's a whole nother story.
No, I think I don't know about that demographic. What demographic was that?
Well, I guess I need to look.
I don't even know if it's just race or if it's also just
it's based on it's age too. There's the older
I'm thinking it was mostly race.
Okay. Well, the older they found that the older they got, the worse, the lower they rated themselves too.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
because growing old is a bitch. I mean, you lose all kind of things. I mean, we don't even want to talk about that. That's a whole different story. But nah, I need to know some demographics because I think that most men have a very overrated opinion of themselves. They can look like holy hell and think that they are the greatest. I see them all the time talk about how handsome they are and how good they look, and they do not. And they do not. They don't look good at all. They look very mediocre and even worse. And they'll say what a handsome man they are. And they look good and everything. And I look at them, I'm like, what? You're just a man, and maybe you got a job or maybe you don't or something, but you don't.
They took a shower that day, Ma. That's what it was.
Yeah, maybe they showered that week or something, but no. I see a lot of them and I know that, and they know objectively that if they were being objective, they would know that they're lying, but they sit there and say that. Not saying that some men don't look wonderful and excellent and, chiseled and everything. Many men look really good, but the average man just walking up and down the street, I don't want us to go too deep, but it's a lot of things about those men that they exaggerate. That's really not all that they say it is. Lot of things.
Okay. All right. So let's get into the Golden Globes, since they had the Golden Globes. I didn't actually air on live television this year. So for all you guys, just refreshing your memory, previously there were 87 members that make up the Hollywood Foreign Press, and these people, they would vote on the Golden Globes. And there was not one Black member of the Hollywood Foreign Press. So as of October of 2021, they added 21 new members, of which 6 of the new members were Black. Also, I think COVID played a role, obviously, too, into them not having a live show, but they didn't have a live show.
Wait a minute now. Now, what are you saying, daughter? Are you saying there are now 6?
There's 6
African Americans.
There's now 6 out of 108 now.
Oh no, they should have at least double that.
Well, that's a whole nother story. We won't even get into
that.
If
they're talking about representation.
Yeah, based on their numbers.
They should have at least 13, 14 African Americans. They should have somewhere between 16 and 18 Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not sure of the percentage of Native Americans. Mm-hmm. If you're percentage of the population is not similar to or reflected in your population in all other major aspects, of American life, then you're underrepresented. If we are 12, 13%, that's a
or 13, 14.
Yeah, 13, 14%. Well, that's what I said. I play around with that. If you're not 13, 14% of everything, then you're underrepresented. Conversely, if you are more than 13 and 14% of the other things, you are overrepresented, like prisons, overrepresented. You know what I mean?
Come on, please.
Okay.
Let's go into.
Okay.
I got you. All right. So there was a couple of historical wins. Number one was Michaela J. Rodriguez. She was the first trans woman to win Best Actress in a television series.
And that's Carmen.
No.
What's her name? No, Blanca
from Pose.
Right, Blanca. Mm-hmm.
And then we have Oh Young-soo from Squid Game. He was the first Korean to win Best Supporting Actor for a role.
Good on Oh Young-soo. He was good in that, the Squid Games. He was good in that. Okay, good. Go. Okay,
so also a really big winner, and we talked about the show a lot on the podcast, was Succession.
So far, I'm co-signed on those winners. So far, I like those winners. I like where they're going so far. Go ahead.
Succession won big for Best TV Drama. Sarah Snook, who plays the role of Shiv, won for supporting, and Jeremy Strong, who plays Kendall, won for Best Lead Actor on Succession. So
and Kendall is all that on Succession.
And I'm in
Kendall
agreement.
Is all that. I think if Kendall left Succession, it would not be nearly as good.
No.
Yeah, Kendall is all that on Succession. Well, there had been some talk about him in that. Okay.
Go. Okay. Next, Kate Winslet won for Mayor of Easttown and for Best Actress. And the best limited series was The Underground Railroad, which we did not see. And I guess we we'll see before probably the SAG Awards come out. Any thoughts, man?
No thoughts. I'm in agreement so far with those who have been chosen. I am in full agreement. Yeah.
And
I like those choices.
Best performances for actor, lead actor, comedy, or musical actor and actress. Jason Sudeikis won for Ted Lasso. Gene Smart won for Hacks, and Hacks won Best Comedy. What did you think about Hacks winning Best Comedy over Ted Lasso?
I thought Hacks was funny. Ted Lasso has a lot of awards. I mean, they're fine. Hacks doesn't have as many, and Hacks is damn good. Hacks is also very funny. So, fine. I'm fine with that.
Okay, and motion picture drama, we didn't see Belfast. The best screenplay went to Kenneth Branagh for Belfast. The best director went to Jane Campion for Power of the Dog. And for best supporting actors in that category, we had Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, and we have Cody Smith McPhee for Power of the Dog. Any thoughts on those?
Well, I know Power of the Dog won. The guy, right?
Yeah, that's what I just
Power
said.
of the Dog. Oh, okay. I didn't know you said. Well, my thought, Power of the Dog, I thought was kind of quirky. I understand it. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but Power of the Dog was kind of quirky, and his performance was a tour de force. Was really, really good. So, I can see it. I don't have like a strong objection to it.
Okay, and we didn't see West Side Story, which we will definitely watch before Oscars come for that one. Mm-hmm. So to give a full assessment. The best picture animation went to Encanto.
Oh, Encanto was so cute and funny. I loved Encanto.
Yeah, I thought that was really good.
Encanto was something you could turn on even if you're in a bad mood and you just watch it all the way through now.
Or
you got to watch it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And Encanto will put a smile on your face. Encanto was good.
And the best performance by an actor or actress in musical or comedy, Okay, so for West Side Story, we didn't see West Side Story. She
Right,
won, Rachel
right.
Zegler, but the man that won for comedy for this category was Andrew Garfield, Tick Tick Boom. Now he beat out Leonardo DiCaprio for Don't Look Up, and I don't agree with that. I saw both of the films and I was not a fan of Tick Tick Boom. I think Andrew Garfield is a talented actor. However, I didn't enjoy that film. I don't know what your thoughts
Nor
are.
did I. Nor did I. I thought Tick Tick Boom was very ho hum,
Yeah.
very ho hum. I didn't think the performances were good. I didn't think the voices there were any really standout, performances. Tick Tick Boom. I'm not like a huge fan of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And best performances by lead actor and actress, we have, and this is in drama, Nicole Kidman for being the Ricardos.
Right.
And yeah, I didn't think that she was, I mean, I like Nicole Kidman, but I
She
wasn't
was
really
up
feeling
against.
that.
She was. You know what? I think it's.
Jessica Chastain,
Yeah,
Olivia
I would have.
Colman,
Yeah, I think.
Gaga, Kristen
Yep.
Stewart.
No, see, I think that she was just playing iconic Lucy, and I think that's what pushed it over the top. I really think that she was the safe bet, that they were really paying homage to Lucy and all that she did, and which is undeniable. I don't think it was really so much about Nicole Kidman's performance. I really don't.
Yeah. And then, guys, and Golden Globes is more of usually they've historically been more of a popularity contest
Yeah.
than just, critical, like
Right.
technical acting.
Right.
And finally, and I agree with this, well, too, Will Smith won for King Richard. And I thought that Will Smith did a really good job playing King Richard. I thought he did. And drama was Power of the Dog. What are your thoughts, man?
I thought Will was really good. I was a little bit mad with Will because of all his other personal shenanigans going on. So I was like kind of annoyed with Will, but not because I thought he didn't do a good job. I thought he did a really good job in playing King Richard. That I really did feel. So I agreed with it, if I'm being honest and not being emotional and not being angry with Will. I really do think he did do a good job in King Richard. Power of the Dog. I gave it as much credit as I did because I thought it was kind of Alfred Hitchcockish, but I wasn't really feeling it to that extent. That I would have given it
dragged.
Yeah. Well, there were times when it was very draggy. It was times when there was, lots of lulls, in the action. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So now we're going to get into movies, and we only had 2 movies this week. So the first movie is The Tender Bar, which stars Ben Affleck, Ty Sheridan, and Christopher Lloyd. And this was directed by George Clooney. And so it's set in the 70s and 80s in Long Island, where JR or Junior and his mom moved back home with his grandparents after a bad breakup with his father. The mom's breaks up with the father. Junior forms a strong bond with his uncle Charlie, who's played by Ben Affleck. So, Ma, what were your thoughts on Tender Bar?
I thought Tender Bar was a good, not great or excellent, but a good coming of age movie about what's his name? What's the heroine?
Junior?
Not the heroine,
Junior.
Junior.
Junior,
Junior, right. And they were saying JR and all that. Yeah. Well, Junior, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was cute. I thought he had some really good experiences. I thought the chemistry between him and the actress that played his mom, I thought that was they were really good.
Lily Robb, I think her name is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought they were really good. And then a pleasant surprise is oh my goodness, he played on Taxi.
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd, yeah. And I was good to see Christopher Lloyd because I always thought that he just sort of was underappreciated. I always liked him. He was good as the grandfather, as the patriarch whose house they all returned to when they were flat on their behinds. His
Mm-hmm.
old rickety house, as they said, but it was a house that was full of love and
Mm-hmm.
support. And I thought I thought he was good. And I thought Ben Affleck was good. I mean, I've seen Ben Affleck be good before, but I thought he was
He
really,
was nominated for Golden Globe.
I thought he was particularly endearing in this. I
Mm-hmm.
thought, although he was little irresponsible,
Mm-hmm.
little too many bad habits,
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was just a very loving and caring and just totally supportive uncle.
I
I
thought he
mean,
was too.
he's the uncle that you would want. He's the uncle slash father figure that you
Mm-hmm.
would want in your life. He was the uncle that the father should have been,
Yes.
so yeah.
I'm kind of in agreement with you about, how I feel about the film, because I thought it was good. It didn't, blow me away, but I definitely thought that Ben Affleck was the best thing about the film. I thought the young actor, he was also good, Ty Sheridan, but Ben Affleck I thought was really, really good in here. And it's about growing up and seeing people for who they truly are. And when you really can understand relationships, and you don't necessarily see your parents, you see your parents for who they are, the good and the bad. And I like this. I really enjoyed it. He even understood about, he had his heartbreak, falling in love with some, well, I don't know if he fell in love or in
Well,
lust.
he certainly fell in
He
lust.
fell in lust, right? And I thought it was good. Yeah. So what are we giving this? Is this a premium, a top shelf, a hooch? What are we going with this?
I'm going to give it a high premium. I'm going to give it a high premium, almost top shelf, not quite. There's
Okay.
a couple more things in the script that could have pushed it over to top shelf, but I'm giving it a high premium. And the highest premium is, what are we doing? 7.5?
7.5.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
giving it a high premium.
I'm going to give this premium as well. I'm going to give it a 7. I definitely recommend it. There's some things that, some improvement we could see with it, but Ben Affleck was a 9 to me with his performance. So
Oh yeah, I can totally see him being nominated. Absolutely.
yeah.
It was a good performance from Ben Affleck. It was a really excellent performance from Ben Affleck. Yeah, good on
Oh,
him. I don't know how he's doing personally, but professionally that
well,
he
he's with J Lo, so he's having a good time.
all right. Good.
So,
Good.
so our second movie for this episode is called The Long Story Short, an Australian romantic comedy that is starring Raph, I guess it pronounces it Raph Spall and Zara Newman. And it is about a man who wakes up to discover, like, every few minutes, his life fast forwards a year. And this is a romantic comedy. But yeah, what did you think about it, Ma?
Oh boy, I thought it was extremely silly. And I thought has been done before. It reminded me of a Christmas Carol. Okay, I don't want to
Christmas
talk too
Carol.
much. It reminded me of a Christmas Carol in that, the future, seeing the future, what it's going to be, because the person never appreciated Christmas, and Ebenezer Scrooge didn't appreciate Christmas, and this and that, and blah blah blah. And he's glad to wake up, and it was all a big dream. And oh my goodness, he can be kind now because he
What
doesn't.
about Groundhog Day? Did you?
So the same thing. He's lost in a big dream where it shows him the horrible things that's going to happen because he just didn't appreciate his family,
Mhm.
didn't appreciate his wife. It was his wife in particular. He was always busy working. He lost his wife. He lost his family, and blah, 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 blah. And then they came full circle.
Yeah, I take back my Groundhog Day because that's not Groundhog Day is repeating the same day over and over again. My bad.
And then in the end, oh boy, it was only a dream, and thank God he has a chance to get it right before it's too late, because it was just a dream, and he realizes how selfish he had been, blah 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 blah. I thought it's just been done before, and it's been done better, and that was it. It was just difficult for me to continue to watch.
Okay, well, I didn't enjoy the film. I thought the idea and the
Nor did I,
concept.
daughter. Nor
Yeah,
did I.
I thought it's been done before, and I think that somebody had a lot of money to spend on film, and they could have maybe done a better job with it. So
Absolutely.
what is your rating, Ma?
Yeah, I'm giving it a high hooch. What's our high hooch? 5?
No, a 5 is a low premium.
Is a low. What's our high hooch?
4.5.
I'm get 4.5, 4.5.
Yes.
I'm giving it a 4.5. I give it a high hooch.
Okay.
Nothing.
I'm gonna give it I can't be the same, but I'm gonna give it a 4 for hooch because
you really wasn't feeling it either.
No,
okay.
No, not so much. Okay, so let's talk about some of the TV shows. One TV show that was on hiatus was This Is Us, and it's back for its final season. This is season 6. And I will just preface this by saying, I really, really enjoyed This Is Us when it first came on. Now I don't really enjoy it as much. Everybody looks nice, at least that they have that going for themselves. It's just to me that they've kind of run out of ideas. We return where Rebecca is having difficulty with her memory. Also, the kids witness the Challenger explosion at school. Also, Randall, it's the triplets. Well, the big threes. There's not triplets. The big three's birthday, and Randall would rather spend his birthday at the arraignment of the guy who broke into their house 2 years ago. And he also wants to save this guy who obviously has, some serious mental health issues. But Randall is always trying to save the world. That's gotten a little bit old to me. Either he's trying to save the world, or either he is depressed and is me. But that's Randall. Love Randall, but that's his character at this point. Kevin is living next door in a garage to the mother of his twins, and that just seems ridiculous. And he seems to be at a crossroads in his career where he can make a lot of money and not be fulfilled, or he can go after passion projects. And Kate and Kate's boss, who we know she will eventually marry, I guess in a few years, breaks up, dumps this Model-S woman. And it seems as though we can visually see where her boss is going to fall in love with her, because that scene that they had, but I don't know, that was just kind of weird to me. Did I miss anything, Ma? And Toby I guess Toby's working in San Francisco. There's like a distance now. I don't know. What are your thoughts on This Is Us?
No, you covered everything. Randall, the part that I think that you didn't mention, but I guess we could put together, is the part that while he's so busy trying to save everybody else, he's neglecting his family to some extent, as far as I'm concerned. And he's working with a lot of people who, don't necessarily want to be saved, and I think he's reading the room wrong when he walks in there and he thinks the guy who broke into his home is worthy of being given a second chance. The guy showed no contrition. It was just Randall wanting to work with him. Mm-hmm. You got me? So yeah. I didn't like that part. Randall is a good guy, but sometimes I think he's a little too altruistic for his own good. like I said, to the, point that he's neglecting his family. So I wasn't so fond of that. The whole thing was very, very unbelievable, with Kevin living next door to the mother of his twins so he could be close to the children. That's ridiculous. Living next door in the garage. And this is a wealthy man with a good career. So I wasn't buying into that. He may or may not have lived someplace not that far away, but I don't think he would have bothered with living in the garage, even a converted garage. I don't think so. That just didn't seem realistic to me at all. And not to mention the fact that he's witnessing her becoming involved with another man. So that would just be something that he would be uncomfortable with, as far as I'm concerned, all the way around. Very unrealistic.
I agree.
And everything else is unfolding as it unfolds and so forth. The biggest change I would say would be in maybe Katie, who was so in love with her husband in the beginning, Katie girl, and then how they, to me, they correlated his weight loss to the disillusion of their marriage, because gradually, as they revealed him as a person who wasn't as fat, who had lost weight, as they started to reveal him getting his body together, he was moving away from Kate. They've started to have real serious problems ever since he got his body together. And she did not. And she has not. For the most part, if she did, you really can't tell it. There's nothing visible that you can see. There's no physical manifestation, not yet. She may have lost a few pounds, but at her size, she has to lose a lot of pounds. But okay. But I don't think that's happened. So in other words, I think that, they had him, improving in his physical appearance and then sort of moving away from her gradually. Even when there were times it seemed as if they would sort of make up, still at this juncture, they are really not together, and another relationship is burgeoning for her. So, so we shall see.
It just doesn't seem at all. I mean, we know a lot of the things that happened from the beginning were just kind of far-fetched, but at this point, It's not even far. It's so far-fetched, it's not entertaining. And so to me, it's one of those pictures where it's time for them to just say let's end the picture. I don't know. Like you said, I think you had told me before, like, how are they going to come up with 18 episodes of, fresh ideas?
Yeah. So, what do they have? 16 more to go? They have about
16, 17, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many at the beginning. I don't know if it was 18 from the beginning or 18 after one or two. I don't know, but they have quite a few more. And then, so let's just see, how they're gonna, develop it and end it and wind it up. And Uncle Nicky, I don't
forgot
know
about him.
I thought Uncle Nicky was just an almost useless character. I think they could have just put any nondescript person in that role, plugged them in, and and that was it. I don't think he's made a major contribution to the show at all.
I agree with you. Okay, so the next show is,
but let me just say this. I think by them being so, I think they made a big mistake when they took Milo,
yes,
Jack. When they took Jack out, when they took Jack out, I think that was a major mistake.
And only use him in flashbacks, you mean?
After that, they seemed to lose their way. Yeah. Because he was such an charismatic character. They took him out of the show. I think the show.
I mean, he's still on the show, but you mean,
but not no. I mean, in the here and now.
Gotcha.
He's only on it in flashbacks.
Gotcha.
How much of flashback is it going to be? Because that limits the growth.
That's the problem. I think you're right.
That's what I'm saying. I think they made a big mistake when they took him out so early.
Okay, so I agree with you, Mom. And just like that was the next show we want to talk about, and we all know how much I love And Just Like That.
Oh, you're so funny, daughter. Oh, you are so funny. Do you like anything about it? Are you still feeling Carrie's clothes? Does she still have the very quaint and stylish and chic? Who is she with? Beverly Johnson.
She doesn't wear Beverly
dresses
Johnson anymore. They're not Beverly Johnson, Betsy Johnson.
I,
Beverly Johnson.
you know what I mean. Beverly Johnson is the model. You know, I mean
Yeah.
Betsy Johnson.
No.
Yeah, and her blonics.
No.
Remember, she was always with the blonics and the Betsy Johnson. Yeah.
Bessie Johnson didn't agree to do this
You know, but you know what? But she
reboot.
still. But don't forget. But she wears retro. You know, she goes in her closet.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on,
true.
Paige. You know, she pulls out that retro, big flary thing.
Man, that's true.
You know, all that she does retro and her little quirky hats and you know, she dresses very similar to how she did 20 years ago.
So yeah, so
Don't you think?
yes, Mom, but I don't like the show. I don't care about her clothes.
You don't think it's nostalgic?
No, I don't enjoy the show at all. I'm really disappointed in the show, and I wish that they hadn't done it. Here's one big thing before I just kind of break little things down. The biggest thing to me is that Sex in the City was a fun show. It was all about, going out, having fun, friendships, love, all of that. And the biggest relationship people. Where are all the funny, sexy, quirky guys? There's just nobody. There's just none of that. All that's gone. That's a real big issue. And obviously Samantha not being
there's a huge gap. There's a huge deficit when it comes to straight men in the movie or even bi men.
In the series, that's you're right. So in this episode, Carrie is moving downtown. Don't care. Seema Patel, who is her realtor, her parents are pretty much trying to set her up.
And as she is a 50-something-year-old woman, you really don't want to hear her whining about what the hell her parents think.
All right.
You really don't want to hear that because in these here United States, at about 17, 18, the kids start not giving a damn what the parents think.
I think it's younger than that.
I mean, at 50-something, you're still talking about your tradition. What tradition? What tradition? You're an American for how many years now?
And so that I don't like that. Miranda's professor. She's all, envious of a friend who is apparently very fertile. And I don't like that they're doing that.
The way she refers to her as fertile myrtle, you would have thought this woman had 10 or 20 kids. She's got 3. This is her third pregnancy.
This is her third pregnancy. Yeah.
I mean, geez, it's not like she has that many kids.
And, it's not like, and she wasn't like a young girl. So I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like, the cultural appropriation when they referred to it, Charlotte's daughter, the adopted Asian daughter referred to the dolls that Charlotte had gotten for her as cultural appropriation. I just think they just throw whatever they can find. They just throw into this series. Didn't go quite like that. Oh, and then Carrie was thinking, she was going with her friend Anthony, who was contemplating having a facelift, but apparently the plastic surgeon doesn't think he should, but maybe Carrie could benefit from a half a facelift, but they didn't, they didn't go into that, but it was just, that part was kind of funny. And Anthony is actually older than Carrie, and like he's in his 60s. I don't know how old the character is supposed to be. That's a whole nother story.
Right.
And then the most annoying is Miranda. This season is
with
just
her transitioning.
Whatever she's doing, yes. Her obsession with Che and her masturbating and her son knocking on the door. Why do they have to do that? Like, why? And where's Steve? Where is Steve when she's doing all this stuff?
Steve is on Chicago Fire.
That's right. You're right. He's on Chicago Fire. All right, I don't like the show. I can't wait for the season finale so I don't have to watch this next season.
I'm with you. They've maligned Big. Do you know they're trying to say Big is a sexual predator? Did you, did you
Oh
hear about
gosh,
Big?
I
I can't
did.
believe
Oh,
it. They wait till this man dies and then they start talking about him. Could you believe it? It's just terrible. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. But I know I'm like you, sweetie. And Samantha, that was you know what, you could never know. You never know. You make decisions and you don't know where they're gonna land. But for Samantha, that was wonderful, that was the most insightful decision she could have ever made. I don't know what her reasons were for making it. Maybe she had read the script and just decided it was just too sucky for her to even get involved with. I don't know. But
yeah.
whatever happened, she made a wonderful choice because we were missing her, but now we're glad that she didn't even contribute to this shipwreck.
Yes, it's just it's not
I'm in full
good.
agreement with you, daughter. It is not good. Their friend who joined in to replace his husband, who in real life died,
Oh,
RIP,
yeah, Willie. Yeah,
RIP to him. Yeah, of course. He's kind of funny. He's a little bit funny and quirky, but other than that,
that's it. That's it.
nothing else. And like I said, this is a middle-aged woman, the realtor, she's a middle-aged woman and she's talking about my parents and my this and my that. And you look at her and you say to yourself, I see why you've never been married. She should be on like the second or third marriage if she was trying to be married, if she's a marrying type person, well, look, if things went a
Because
certain way.
she's a nice looking woman, and
She's
and she's
nice looking,
accomplished.
perfectly industrious. She's fine. She's good to go. She's everything. But when she opens her mouth and starts talking about her parents' expectations and how they make her feel or whatever, or this way or that way, she sounds like an adolescent. She sounds like somebody who could not possibly be out of their 20s.
Right.
More or less double that, So I think that is just not, I don't buy that. I call, just inauthentic right there. Just totally inauthentic, So I'm like you. I don't give it high marks either.
So, all right. So let's move on to Righteous Gemstones. Now, I know you just started watch. Well, I think you're probably up to date. I'm not sure.
I watched it all,
Okay. So,
in preparation for, the podcast, I watched it all.
so Righteous Gemstones
Okay.
is a televangelist satire, we can say, and it stars John Goodman. I don't know, I was going to say John Mayer. It's not John Mayer. John Goodman as the patriarch of the Gemstones family, and the lead pastor. And then his eldest son is played by Danny McBride, who's like the associate pastor. And then we have Judy, who is it? Judy Gemstone is the daughter, and she's kind of neurotic and she feels underappreciated. And then we have Adam Devine, who is the youngest of the family and the youth pastor, and he seems to kind of lack confidence. He seems to be the sweetest, but he also seems
but
as
he's
though,
the one who played in Modern Family.
yes, he was in Modern Family,
And
correct.
and so this is him
And he
as
lives
a young adult in my, he's a guy from Modern Family.
And he lived with his the guy that he converted from the Salvation Center. So that the first season focuses on the oldest son being blackmailed and betrayed by someone close to him. And this season, it starts off with an old friend of John Goodman's, who is played by Eric Roberts.
It's good to see Eric Roberts. I hadn't seen him in a long time.
Yeah.
Good to see him.
Yeah. And when he's around, there's always trouble. And
for those who don't know, Eric Roberts is the older brother of Julia Roberts.
Yes. So there's a lot with this. He kind of awakens the past of John Goodman's character, the criminal past. Yes.
Yeah. That John Goodman's character, when he was a young man, he used to actually be a thug. He used to actually go around and beat up people for money. He was a paid thug. There's a name for those guys. I can't think of it right now, but they actually have a name in the criminal genre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a name for those kinds of guys. But he actually was a person who would go around beating up people to intimidate them, to pay up money that they owed to a higher up in the
Okay.
hierarchy. Oh yeah,
Oh,
and
I didn't
that's
know
what
that.
yeah, they showed him doing that, which was so funny. And then he would go around and beat up people or whatever, and get paid for doing it. And then he'd go sit down at the table with his family, and his father would say to him, "Oh, well, where you coming from?" And he'd say, "Oh, Bible study or something,"
Right,
whatever
right.
it was. It wasn't the truth, of course, and it was just really funny. So as a very young guy, he was a big, strong, strapping guy, and he was he was what you might call a professional ass kicker, and yeah, that's what they call it. That's one of the things they call it,
I'm
and
sure.
yeah, and it was just really very funny.
Eli
Yeah,
is what his name. I
yeah,
can't, for some reason,
yeah,
think of
yeah.
Dr.
Eli
Eli.
Gemstone, yeah.
Right.
And father would ask him about where he had been, and he would just lie. He was just early on, he was a thug. And also he had been a professional wrestler with his father. They had a father-son wrestling team.
So,
They
Mom,
didn't show that, but they referred to it. So it was really good.
what do you think of the second season so far? Because we're
Second
gonna
season,
talk about this
well, we're
season
only on
continuing.
episode 2. There've
Yep.
only been 2 episodes released, and I'm going high premium so far because it's just entertaining.
Well, no, I just not. I'm not asking you for a rating. I'm just saying,
Oh,
what do you think
it's good.
about
It's
it? What do
interesting.
you, are you
Oh, I
intrigued?
think it's definitely worth your time. It definitely is interesting. You don't know where it's going, and you really can't even predict where it's going because it goes all over the place. It's not. It is very different. What is similar to what we see in real life is that John Goodman is one of these. What do they call it? The religion of prosperity. They
Mm-hmm.
teach, or the doctrine of prosperity, or
Yeah,
something
but
like that, like a
they have
Joel
a lot.
Osteen,
Yeah,
or this or that. Yeah.
Creflo
And so,
Dollar, and yeah.
oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, baby. And they have 2 big planes, and one is called the Father, and the next one is called the Son. And
Mm-hmm.
it is so cute. And they, and of course they have the hangar, and they have the palatial look. They live on a compound. Okay, they live on just a full, huge compound slash estate. The father, who is the patriarch, John Goodman, has the biggest house, which is just palatial, and just a huge staff. And then the oldest son has the second best house, and
Mm-hmm.
it's another palace, but a little smaller. And then the youngest son has the smallest house, and they're all
I
living
forgot
in
about
major.
the daughter because she's
And the daughter also has a beautiful home. And when it starts out, she's hiding her boyfriend. Okay, all right.
okay,
But
man.
anyhow,
Yeah,
it goes on. It goes. I saw it from the beginning to end. But at this juncture, I don't know if you watched
you
it all, but if you're on the second season, they're all married. They all have their families, and they live on the compound.
okay? So, power. See, the other show I wanted to talk about was Power Book 2. We haven't really discussed it recently because I wasn't really a big fan of Power Book 2. I really enjoyed Power Book 3. I thought that one, Raising Canaan. But I think this season of Power Book 2 is definitely worth tuning in. It's just Tariq is just kind of the worst. And I think that was for me, my issue was it was very difficult for me to get behind Tariq as the protagonist. I mean, I guess he's sort of the protagonist in here because he's just done something that's unforgivable. For everybody who's watched Power, he killed his father. And so that for me is just kind of hard to overlook. However, I think there's some interesting storylines in this season. When it starts off with this episode, Tariq was in jail. Of course, he gets Lorenz Tate's character, who's like a crooked politician, to blackmail a judge so that Tariq can be out on bail. I think that who else in here? Monet, Mary J. Blige's character Monet. I still don't like Mary J. Blige's character Monet. I don't really like her playing it because she doesn't appear to be a loving mom. And so that for me is like an
She is
issue.
not a loving mom. She is not supposed to be a loving mom. She's supposed to be a cold-blooded street type criminal hustler, just a step above street. And sometimes she is street. Sometimes she interacts very directly with people that a higher up would not interface with. She meets people who are on a street level, and the real higher ups would never do that. Sometimes she acts very street. She's not supposed to be a loving mother. I gave up on that a long time ago.
Well,
She doesn't have those maternal instincts. She just has the instincts of self-preservation. That's her major instinct.
and another issue with her to me is Zeke being her son. How could you hide? How can you hide that he was your son and not your nephew? And at what age is Zeke supposed to be in comparison to her other children? Because he's somewhere in the middle in there. He's not the oldest, and I don't think he's the youngest.
Yep.
So all that to me is strange. And she has a husband. So that part they didn't explain. Well, maybe they're going to.
Well, you know what? Things get very murky with that. You know what I figured, Pay? When you have these people who are in and out of jail and wherever they're going and whatever they're doing, things get blurred. You know what I mean? I don't really see you. I don't know how big you are or not, or did you go away too, or was it just me who didn't see you for a few months? And, some people don't show until they're 7, 8, 9 months. For the last 2 or 3 months, So, I mean, you can pull the wool over a lot of eyes, and this is not a time when they seem to be talking about DNA that much, and so, you can do all kinds of stuff under those circumstances. And then the guy who was allegedly the father, the putative father is her husband who, has similar characteristics as the real biological father. So you could pull that off. The only thing, it seemed like though that guy and Mary J don't seem like they would be making Zeke, but they have Zeke up there, so whatever, so all that's very odd, but
that is definitely odd. Yes.
And Mary doesn't even act like she cares. She has one daughter, and she tells her daughter, "Get out, I'll kill you," and "Get out, you stole my buddy." And the daughter is in,
that's daddy's
girl completely, and she knows that mama is doing her thing someplace else and didn't really want daddy to get out of jail. And she's
a young adult, so she's like, a little child who can't see.
So I mean, I don't know. And then poor Kane, I don't know what their feeling is toward Kane, because it looked like he's always getting the heave ho. Wants to run things, and they're constantly telling him, "Oh well, Kane, you're too hot-headed, or you're just too stupid, or you're just do something, to run anything. So you're not gonna run it." And I don't know. And then daddy comes home, and I don't know how long he's been gone, but things are different because mommy been holding it down, and daddy comes home and he wants to relegate mommy to the kitchen. Go get me some chicken or whatever. And mommy been holding down the empire. Now she got to just go cook, so it's just, I don't know. Let's see where this thing goes.
Oh gosh.
And then Tariq, he runs the world. Oh boy, he's just manipulating everybody and everything. He's telling so many lies. I don't even know how the cast can remember what they are. I guess they have to go back and refer to their notes, because it is ridiculous, all the different stories that they have to be telling. So I don't know what's going on with anything.
I can't.
And then Tasha, I guess she's in the witness protection.
She's in Queens, like you said. She's on the show Queens.
Yeah, she's over in Queens, right? So it's just all over the place.
But it's entertaining.
It's very entertaining, and one thing I will say is Mary is getting a lot more airtime.
She is, but I don't know if she needs to.
I won't say it's good. I'm what you pay. I don't say it's good airtime. But I'll just say she's getting a lot more airtime.
And you get to see Method Man. He's on there too.
Oh, and Method Man, he's just such a cutie.
Okay, So another show, I don't know how you feel about it. We haven't talked about it in a few weeks, is Queens. So Queens is back. And I guess the big reveal for Queens is that, for all those who don't know, and we can read and see, guys, Eve is pregnant. She may have given birth at this point. And I'm
Well,
not really
certainly any
100%
day
sure.
if he hasn't already.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
she is on maternity leave. And so I guess that is why they kind of tried to take her out of some of the episodes, or, at the big reveal, we thought at the beginning of this episode that Eve's character was dead, but she's not. She's over somewhere in paradise with her children.
And wherever she is, she's just having a lovely
She's
time.
having, right. And so they have Remy Ma, who has come on to kind of, I guess, fill that void. And I don't know, Mom. What are you thinking about Queens? I think Queens for me is okay. I don't think it's great. I think it's just okay. I think it started off strong. And I think since then, it's hit some little road bumps, but it's just okay for me right now.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think it's just fair. I don't think it's extremely bad. Certainly it's not extremely good. What's her name? I'm calling her Tasha. She's not
Notori,
Notori.
Jill
Notori, yeah, Notori. Notori is going to get hers because Notori just got a little too carried away with herself. Okay, so negative things were going to come to Notori.
Mm-hmm.
She created that karma.
Yeah.
She really did. So I could see that happening to Notori. I'm really kind of undecided about what they're going to do with Eve's character should this survive for another season.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do with Eve's character?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's having a baby. She's going to take some time with the baby, where they're filming, what they're doing, where Eve even lives, what country is she even living in.
Because I know she's in the UK. I know she's in London. Her and her husband live in London.
So how they're going to work all that out, I don't know. Should the whole thing survive, how is that even going to work out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brandy's character Naomi, I don't know what's going on, because is she gonna rekindle her relationship with the husband, because she married him, right? Didn't they get married?
No.
Oh, I thought they got married. Well, they live in the same house.
They live in the same house. Yeah, I didn't see them married.
Same house. Okay.
Eric, yeah.
Okay, because I thought that she was talking to him about them marrying so they could have some semblance of real family.
Maybe, but I don't think they got married.
I'm not really sure. Okay. But in any event, she seems to be still cold toward him, even though they're under the same roof. She's not showing anything romantic toward him. And then what happened to the guy who was the director, producer, who liked her, and she went on a date and everything with him? I don't know what happened to him. Did I seem like I didn't see him anymore?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But maybe they pushed him on out to make room for this other character.
What other character?
Well, the father of her daughter. Maybe for them to have a romance.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure.
They gotta give us something, because all the time, just like in real life, Brandy can't keep ending up with nobody. She got to get something out of the deal, right?
Yeah.
She's got to get one of those guys some kind of way.
Well, here's the thing, and I think it's very silly too.
But a Pecan got married. I mean,
and that was just kind of, yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do. And then, well, here's the big issue with Brandy's daughter is a young adult. So whatever they're talking about, the family, like, she's going on when the way they have it written. When Brandy's character was her daughter's age, she was pregnant with the daughter. So I don't know. I don't know what their thinking is.
Well, they don't. Well, I don't see them pulling in the father figure to like raise her or anything, because he wasn't there as a father figure during her formative years, obviously, because she's grown now and she's just getting to know him, so it can't be that. So I'm thinking they had to pull him in for Brandy.
Yeah.
So the two of them could have a relationship. I guess we'll see where they take it.
Okay, well, let's get into our recommendations. And I think there's a couple of other ones. If you have some, let me know. Boba Fett, we had talked about Boba Fett, I think on the last episode. And I think this last episode of Boba Fett was better. The second episode was better than the first. I see some more action, some more development. So I would say
Well,
to
Boba
go
Fett
check it
is
out.
a hero.
Yeah.
He's an honorary Turkin. It was the Turkin, which is good. Yeah, that's the name, the Turks or Turkins. And so Boba Fett is a hero.
So
they are good to Boba Fett, and as a result, Boba Fett was really, really good from them and freed them from being attacked by whomever, whatever the name was of the guys with the train. Remember?
yeah, I can't think of their names, but yeah, I would definitely.
They all have different names and languages, so but Boba Fett is an honorary Turkin now.
So yeah, so I would recommend that. And I also would recommend, which is, it's going on. It's a 6-week series, Women of the Movement, and it's centering around Mamie Till Mobley, the mother of Emmett Till.
Yeah.
And we, what this story is about, but it stars Adrienne Warren, who played Tina Turner on Broadway and won and Tony for that. And she's playing the mom, and Tanya Pinkins.
And she is good. She is good. Yes, she is.
And we have Tanya Pinkins, who is playing her mom. And we have Cedric Jones as Emmett Till and Glenn Turman as the uncle. The uncle.
He's the old elder uncle.
Yeah.
The mom's uncle. Yeah.
So I highly recommend you watch it. There's 2 episodes that have been released so far, and it's a 6-week limited series. Well, at least this season is 6 weeks. So it
is both heartbreaking and just very engaging.
Yeah, there's not there's no way to really critique it except to highly recommend it
because it is in fact history.
Yeah.
No.
Is there anything else?
It's a sad history.
I'm sorry, Ma. Is there anything else that you recommend before we give a little? If there's anything you want to say about Married at First Sight, is there anything else that you want to recommend?
No, they have a new season of Married at First Sight. And I'm going to quote directly from Dr. Viviana when I say to you guys, just don't take it too seriously. Okay? Just don't take it too seriously. And that's all I can say about Married at First Sight.
Yeah, we don't really know much yet, so we'll see. Only one couple, I think, got married. There's just been all types of, crazy rumors. And
I did have one question I could pose, and that's just a question I'm throwing out to you guys. Why are there so many African-American people on Married at First Sight? We're overrepresented. We don't get married at rates that high. We're not that, we're not 20% of the population, it's always at least 2 African-American couples, sometimes more, sometimes maybe 2.5 or whatever, African-American couples each season. And we don't get married like that. It's only 5 couples. Okay. We don't need to be 40% of the show.
Is it good or bad, Ma? Is that a good or bad
I don't understand it. I don't know that it's good or bad since none of the marriages last anyway. I don't know that it's good or bad. But I'm just wondering why.
I don't know. That's an interesting.
We aren't overrepresented in television in general. We aren't overrepresented. Why are we overrepresented on a show like Married at First Sight when in real life our numbers, we don't get married at rates that high. We do not.
Yeah. So that's an interesting question.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, think about it. And if anybody wants to comment on one of our multiple sites or whatever.
Ma, we're not finished with the show yet.
Well, I know that. I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh, okay. Because you're ready to go. Wow.
I'm changing my name from Ma. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, Ma, what are the 3 things that made you smile?
You have them right behind you. The sun, the stars, and the moon. You have them right behind you, daughter.
Well, that's good. For me, it's Rihanna is going to be opening 5 stores this year, 5 what do you call it? Brick and mortar stores in DC, Houston, LA,
Was it
Las
Brooklyn
Vegas.
and Mortars? Brooklyn and Mortar stores? Yeah.
Brick and mortars.
Tell me what is the address of one of those Brooklyn and Mortar stores.
You know,
Okay.
stop. That's not nice. You know what I meant, Ma. That's mean. Mean, Ma. Okay. Brick and mortar is what I was trying to say. The second one is, well, Will Smith. I was happy that we were able to mention Will Smith for performing something positive.
Right, instead of talking about his personal life.
Right. And
mess.
And then you mentioned this earlier, Ma. For me, the Pittsburgh Steelers making the playoffs and Mike Tomlin going 15 seasons with no losing season. Let's positive vibes for that. I don't think they're going. I don't think they're going to win their playoff game because they're playing.
No, they'll be out the first. They'll be out the first game. Come on, they're meeting Mahomes.
Mahomes, right?
Oh, they out already.
So, but you know,
what day is that?
Sunday. I think it's Sunday.
I mean, maybe Mahomes will be out. You never know.
Yeah,
but I don't think so.
I don't think. Yeah. Okay. So that is all that's all the time that we have for today. Please rate us on whatever platform you are listening to us on, and check out the Bamgboshe Happy Hour store. Subscribe to All Things Peju on YouTube, which is the home of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. And
we're on YouTube, guys. Check us out on YouTube.
You didn't hear me say
did you mention that, daughter?
I did. Is there anything else you want to mention, Ma?
No, that's it.
Okay.
I don't have anything else I want to mention. I just wanted to mention that. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, guys, and subscribe. When you tune in, click that little subscription button. Don't forget.
Okay. All right. So I think that's it. So everybody, be safe and bye.
Bye. Vaccinate and boost. Bye.